What's that? Climbing up the pipes of your toilet? Why, it's Wandering Monster. Roll initiative!
Hello and welcome once again to Wandering Monster, America's tabletop showcase, where we strive to show you how the games you're interested in play mechanically, narratively, and what it's like to stress test your DM to the point where they pull out their beard. My name is John Big Dog Baltusberger.
I am Charles' second biggest dog, R. Bernard.
I am Ian, apparently wearing a fake beard because I pulled up my real one due to all the stress testing.
And I'm Mr. Big Red Pashke because, well, I'm a ginger, and, well, anyhow.
Friends, I wanted to point out a little peeky poo behind the curtains. I don't warn these fuckers about what I'm going to do or say during the intros. I just like jump on my surfboard and skate across the ice at them and hope for the best.
I think anyone who's watched this episode more. Yeah.
I didn't even know he had a surfboard.
So, okay. First, I'm going to start off with this. We're getting this right away. Right now, on Kickstarter is a project called Journey Through the Dying Lands. Now, why am I telling you this about at the start of the show? Because all four of us, in fact, if we had Bridget and Kevin with us, it would be all six of us are involved in this project. It is a Morkborg fiction and playable adventure anthology. That means you're getting short stories from me, from Ian, from Charles. You get the what about Patsy? What did he do? He did the fucking lettering on the cover, y'all.
I'm participant.
Bridget has an adventure. Bridget has a adventure in it. Kevin has an adventure in it, and we have more. We have more really cool stretch goals. We have a Vast Grim story on the horizon. We have a Cyborg story or adventure on the horizon. We have Zvump from Tommy. I'm not saying his last name. And we have all this cool shit we can unlock. It's going to be incredible. Just go to Kickstarter and look up Journey Through the Dying Lands. You'll find it. It's super cheap to get the digital copy, and it's kind of a steal to get the physical copy. It's going to be incredible. The cover is by Simone Temeta, and it's fucking gorgeous. It includes the two basilisks rising above a poor Dod's Bingare from Whispers. It's gorgeous. And you know, what I love about Dod's is that he's like every single week he is in his own like Evil Dead Army of Darkness movie. Like he's in his own Monster B movie that he has to fight his way through like it is a not so wet paper sack. And it made me think, like, man, those old B movie creature features that you used to see on like the Sci-Fi Channel, like Megaconda, Giant Shark versus Crocosaurus, all of those. And like, we're not even going to touch on Godzilla -1 because I am still shooketh by the quality of that movie. No, we're talking about the B ones. We're talking about like lower them expectations, lower your hopes,
So
and get into the grainy, gritty dirtiness of B movie monster features with us. I don't know what I'm not sure what we're doing tonight because I've been kind of out of it with health stuff. But I'm hoping I can talk to Ian and maybe get some kind of creature feature game on the show sometime soon. Ian, what are we playing tonight?
We're playing Dodds the Musical.
Oh, the true villain was my trying to sing.
So
the sword, and I'm going to stab.
So with that lead in, we are indeed playing Creature Feature. It's a comedy horror TTRPG where you get to play your own B movie. And this comes to us from Aldercone Studios, released this year, version 2.3. Ultra Rules Light, this gives you a, well, I guess, rule set, a set of inspirations that help you to do like a good little one shot, especially for like cons or if you have a slow game night. This is something that really kind of leans into the yes and school of improv based role playing that helps to really have you emphasize your favorite B movie tropes and monsters and so forth. And it's with that in mind that every B movie is really supported by its colorful cast of characters, usually, again, this magnifying those tropes and driving the story forward. So we're going to have our credits roll with our introduction of characters, and we need someone to be teletyped first as we're doing like the flashing the scenes.
Is this thing on? Is this the door I come up? Hi, guys. Hi, everybody. I'm Sunshine Sunny Spalding. You can call me Sunny. That's a nickname. I'm a peaceful innocent, and I think we're going to have a really good time tonight, and no one's going to die. Definitely for sure. That's it.
No one can follow Spalding. I also like the fact that Spalding gives a little bit of that sinister reference to like Devil's Rejects, House of a Thousand Corpses, just a quintessential piece of Charles coming forward.
My immediate thought was like, oh, he says he's a peaceful innocent, but say a bad word about clowns and he'll fucking blow your head off.
No,
Here
exactly.
I'm thinking Groucho Marx, but anyways.
You don't come up with a reason you hate clowns, I'm going to come back here and kill your whole fucking family. That's one of my favorite scenes of all time in cinema.
Understanding where Rob Zombie got the reference.
So then next
That's
on the
you
title
want
card.
to introduce us?
Yeah, sure. Let me just get my best Tor Johnson impression I can do, because when I heard about this game, I'm just like, are we doing Bride of the Monster or are we doing Plan 9 from Outer Space? Because both are classic Ed Wood movies. Both would fit in this genre. And I really should have just grabbed one of those like clip things to put on my tongue so I could get the accent right, because I feel
Who
like...
was it that died during the making of Plan 9 and they shemped him?
That would be Bela Lugosi.
That's right.
Where
Yeah.
like he died before they actually started actual principal filming. They just did some like test footage actually at Bela Lugosi's house, and it was just like, yeah, I've got this. I'll go ahead and just get my optometrist to do this because the forehead matched enough. But yeah, so I'll be playing the sheriff, which in my personal opinion is just Tor Johnson. Whether or not I can get the accent right, because if you've seen Plan 9, like, you do not understand a fucking word this guy says.
You don't. Yeah.
I'm a big boy, daddy. Yeah. So that's gonna be my character, and yeah, bald, much like myself, and
Man with a tongue bigger than his mouth.
And I'm the new sheriff, probably from some European country that got the job somehow.
It was a sheriff exchange program. That entire town in Europe is now dead.
Yeah, they're lawless.
Yeah, that entire town just dead, like because the American sheriff showed up and killed everybody.
Yeah, the American sheriff showed up, shot everybody. I showed up over here being like, and then they were just like, "Fuck you, guy," and they walked off.
So I guess I'm going to start pulling my beard early, just cutting it out.
Friends, I need you to understand that what you think you know isn't what you know. The owls are not what they seem. My name is Elroy Shane Go. And you can call me Shane. I prefer Shane. The important thing to know is that I am an expert. I have studied all manners of cryptid, croutons, various form of crackers. And these are, I know they sound delicious. These are actually all form of monster. Monster is not really the correct term. See, because like monster connotes like a supernatural evil, but most cryptids are either organic or have been spliced. They're not supernatural, right? Like, so monster is kind of a misnomer. Anyway, I've spent my entire life researching and studying modern, contemporary, and ancient texts to discern the best way to handle monster incursions, and I am here to help.
And how many total hours of internet research have you logged? Come on, don't be modest.
You know
It's
what?
okay.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I actually go to the library and like find
Old
books,
school.
and
All right.
I've done a lot of archaeology to find books. Haven't seen any. Haven't gone toe to toe with any. I like to call them UB. That's all I got, man. I want to come up with a funny acronym. Unidentified bioorganisms.
Yeah, UBO. There you go.
UBO. Unidentified. I call them unidentified BO for short.
Nice.
So I've dealt with lots of unidentified BO in my time.
And they say that he who
but
hath
not like
smelt it
face to
hath easily
face.
smelt it. Yeah.
So would you say you're the
That's a
modern
spell.
day Indiana Jones?
I'm probably more like the modern day Jay Jennings, which is only funny if you attended Texas State and did the theater program for a while. But if you did, you're rolling around on the floor laughing right now. I promise. That was a zinger. You just have to believe me and trust me on it.
I'm sort of imagining the guy in the Aussie style hunter hat from Jurassic Park, the original one, who was like an expert in raptors, even though they hadn't existed for 65 million years, you know. But quickly
And then he
became an
immediately
expert.
gets eaten.
Yeah.
Oh
yeah,
shit!
Well, yeah. So it's gonna be
you okay over there, Patchkey?
I'm good. My
Wow, that
baffling
just baffles me.
baffle myself.
All right, with that
sometimes.
pun, we have to kill Ian. Wandering Monster has been a fun experience. Unfortunately, it's over now.
the walls are literally falling in on us.
This is our Pompeii.
Yeah.
This wouldn't have happened if Bridget was here.
Yeah. We never do dumb, horrible shit when Bridget's around.
Bridget keeps us responsible.
Yes.
So each of our characters here are fulfilling one of those iconic B-movie tropes. So Sunny is the innocent, we have Clifford that's the old-timer, and we have Shane as the expert. So we set our scene after we have our title cards going for our B-movie reel. There's the sound of like really tinny, cheap synths with a lot of like the kind of like fluting organy like the sounds as like the tensions building. Although it's superimposed on normal scenes of like a town, you see coming into focus a little friendly sign, even though it's a little bit of corporate font saying "Welcome to Possumburg." As the camera is kind of going through the rest of the B-list cast, and it's always really small, covering, best grip, best boy, goodest boy, and other things. What are the little scenes that make Possumburg such a great place to live? What's one little snapshot as the camera pans across?
Okay, this is not what it pans across, but for just an instant, I thought, what if it were like Duckburg and everybody was a possum? It's just like possum mailman, possum, business owner, possum police department, possum. I don't know. No, I think it pans across like definitely the mailman delivering the mail. That seems to be a big like normality thing in movies from the 50s. Yeah.
And that means that he has to be one of the first people eaten. And it's like the big shocker. So that's a smoking, or that's when I check off guns for later.
And the postman always has to go and like deliver.
Allow me to
stuff
unmute myself.
Yes, please.
Someday we'll
Let me
get you a
just suggest,
dedicated mute button.
Allow me to suggest a dilapidated water park. It used to be happening and hopping in the 80s and 90s, but unfortunately, the owner got really into crypto and NFTs, and after a tragic accident at a party he attended where they used the wrong kind of speakers and blew his brain out of his eardrums, it's been empty since. So, decaying water park.
It hasn't been quite empty though. His nephew that has taken up residence inside the decaying water park after the fact has set up his lab there.
These are scenes of the town that we're going through.
Yeah.
I thought.
The town's main industry is water park. It subsides itself off of summer fun. Come winter,
you're making a joke. You're making a joke, but there are 3 towns like that in Texas.
I mean, I used to know a guy that worked at Action Park, and I got to tell you, that's just a way of life for some people. So, anyhow, yes.
All right. So clearly, I've learned what the town's main industry is, and it is water park industries, where there is a petrochemical plant making your tube sections. There's another inner tube factory for making the various flume components and things for water parks. And so there's a little bit of an extra trill in the fake synth as you have this transition from happy mailman scene to seeing a decrepit abandoned water park that is left for mysterious reasons as is, and then you have your chemical spewing plants making all kinds of fun things for people. In this town, you know that there's been a change up in the local authority, that the Super Fun Co. has recently fired their previous sheriff and brought in someone from outside to help with the increase in disappearances that seem to be happening around town. And you come on to scene, Clifford, to assert yourself as the new law figure here and to kind of get the lay of the land, and then also to start diving into a little bit of what the problems that you hear from the local citizenry.
Okay. So first thing, he would go up to the nearest what are your two's jobs in the community?
Don't got one, don't need one.
Okay. Don't got one, good, don't need one. And
I am a professor at the local community college.
That makes the most sense.
I teach philosophy, government, and what state is Bossenberg in?
Yes.
Same one that Springfield is in.
That is exactly what I was going to go for.
Okay. Okay. I also teach Texas history, but we are not in Texas.
It's a perfectly cromulent curriculum.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
So we're in the school where you teach, and in walks the new sheriff, and we all kind of connoiter in the classroom that you teach in, and you just hear translation. Hi there, I'm the new sheriff in town, and I gotta say I'm here to stop the mischief that's been going on around that dilapidated water park. I was hoping you could give me some leads.
That's done with subtitles in the.
Oh
movie.
yeah, it's all subtitles. Yeah. Everyone's just hearing.
Yeah.
That's a lot of fault. It's I had the nephew is the and I have to understand on.
But much like Boomhauser or Sylvester Stallone, we pretend we understand him.
Yeah, your characters totally get everything he's saying, 100%.
Well,
Like no need to repeat.
we exist in a Grant Morrison style movie, so we can actually see the subtitles too, like just floating in the air. So
yeah, but you
we're
don't
like,
need to
"Oh,
read
okay."
them. You can see them.
no.
You know they're there, but it's just like
Yeah.
you understand.
Like having a Babel fish in my ear. Got it.
Yeah, exactly.
Great. Also, as we're kind of doing our initial setting of the scene, one of the mechanisms in this game is that everyone starts off with one token, and as scenes begin to unfold, you get additional tokens. These are for players' use to make sure that the action that they want to do is successful. There's a bit of a exchange between the other characters and the storyteller to see how many tokens it might make for a certain severity of action happen, or to force characters to do things or kind of nudge them into the don't open the closet kind of moments, those things that help with the pacing of B films. So you've just, are you doing this announcement over like the PA to the entire school?
Oh no, I inexplicably just walk into the classroom as if I was directed there, but in fact it doesn't make sense because this is a B film and plot real loose, real thin. We don't need to explain why I'm there. I'm just there.
Let's just call it a gathering of concerned citizens that took place at the college.
Yeah. Oh, is it a college? I was thinking grade school.
No, college. That
No,
satisfies
it's
everyone.
yeah.
Okay, my bad.
No, for some reason I was also had grade school in my head. It's like that scene. So we're on the same wavelength.
Yes, and is listening.
It's a big Indiana thing, I guess. You just education.
Hold on,
school. Ian, I get it.
Sorry, guys. Again, I hate to say it. Charles, just one wandering monster, shows over for outsies. Yeah, we're in a community college, as I stated.
I know that. I heard that.
I'm currently teaching. I'm currently teaching Texas history, and Sonny is the only person who signed up for it because they got confused and thought it was I don't know. Texas Flowers.
Underwater basket weaving. I thought it was underwater basket weaving. Yeah.
Textile history.
Okay,
yeah, I gotcha.
Fair.
Wait, no. It's
Texas style history. I love that. So, John, what would Texas style history be?
I don't want to tell. Oh, actually, I had to go talk to the school because the kid was drawing swastikas on the playground.
I meant more like what
Texas
does Texas style
history
mean in cuisine? If I wanted something Texas style, how would they serve
smothered,
it?
baby?
Smothered? In chili?
Smothered. Chili or gravy or fucking birria sauce. We're like, whatever it is, it's going to be saucy.
So John's teaching saucy Texas history.
That actually sounds like something I would teach, though, is the problem.
Anyway, so let's shift it and say, instead of striding into a random classroom, John, as a cryptid enthusiast and general internet prowling sleuth, has agreed to host this meeting of concerned citizens. So all kinds of people show up. That mailman who was
Like
smiling in the introduction, like, all the grannies, because they've got nothing better to fucking do. I've been to enough community council meetings to tell you that's exactly who goes to these type of things. Who else is there? I'm calling on you, Pashke. Who else came to your meeting about to introduce yourself to the town and express your concerns?
Oh, obviously the local weatherman, because he's a figure of authority. He says when it will or will not rain, and it's allowed
Drives
to be
a
wrong.
nice car.
Yeah. Like, it's not a Mercedes, but like he's treating it like it's a Benz. It's probably just like a Honda Pilot, but he's just like, yeah, look at that.
Then again, everyone else in town is driving like 92 Honda Accords or something,
Yeah, so the local weatherman is there because voice of the people.
Mhm.
And then there's also no. So would you say your character was or was not ever orphaned? How often are you in contact with your parents? If we went on a whirlwind adventure where you might die, do we have to tell anyone that might happen, or are we just good?
These are your screening questions for the crowd.
Look, as someone who is the new sheriff, I might need a ward. And if I've learned anything from Detective Comics, it's make sure the parents are dead so you don't have to answer any fucking questions when the kid dies.
This is also how they recruited Pony Express writers, wasn't it? It was like
Yeah.
no immediate family, so that there wouldn't be anyone to mourn you. You
Look,
could just
or
send
pay
your
out,
ass
too.
I'm
into.
just saying, from
Yeah.
Charles to Charles here. Come on, be my ward, buddy. Come on, come on. Let
Uh,
me be your surrogate papa.
I'm a peaceful, innocent man. I don't know that I want the sheriff. Like Sheriff Dad just sounds so weird to
I'm not
me.
your dad. You're my ward. It's different. I'm
Okay,
not a,
Sheriff
I'm not
Dad.
as much of a parent
It's not
figure
different. He's
as you
Sheriff
are.
Ward.
As you are just a
Sheriff-
person
no,
I tell to do
Sheriff
go into
Dad's very good.
dangerous
You know what's-
situations.
You know what's funny about the word ward to me is like logically and etymologically speaking, the person who takes care of a ward would be a warden.
Yeah, and
And
what's your point?
you're just looking for a promotion, sheriff. Or I don't know if sheriffs outrank wardens or whatever. Who knows? Anyway,
Look.
no, I don't want to be your ward. Let's move it along.
Okay, fine. You're getting nothing from Christmas.
Dang, Dad.
Happy
So
now?
you have
Yeah.
your meeting of concerned citizenry discussing the local disappearances, and you've kind of thrown your light out there looking for leads into what's happening. So this is an opportunity, since a lot of people are concerned and nervous. Do you want to use a token to milk information out to kind of give you a lead? Or are you wanting to kind of take a sheriff beat around town and kind of look at suspicious places?
I mean, you said sheriff beat around town. Does that mean I get to go beat up the townsies?
I mean, like, oh, you said get to. I was thinking have to. Like, you don't have to, but get to. Arguably, yes. I mean, that is kind of the whole thing when you put on that badge, right?
Yeah,
Like,
I mean, I'm gonna not make jokes. Okay, let's go investigate the town and figure out what's afoot about that abandoned water park. That
I love
something.
feet.
Well, now we know something new about John Thaniel here. So let's go to the local massage parlor that specializes in like pedicures for reasons.
massage and pedicures.
Yeah.
That's luxurious. That's got to be a major job
It's pretty
provider
good,
in
yeah.
that community. Yeah.
Okay, so you're wanting to check out the local water park and a foot massage parlor.
Yeah.
So the as you
Does
finish up your
exist?
A water park
Yeah.
/ foot massage
No,
parlor.
no, like a foot massage, like a
Fucking
place
better.
that specifically does feet alone.
yeah, there's a lot of places around like major cities that do that. Like they call them all kinds of weird things. Even in Indianapolis, they have foot envy, foot massage, foot fetish, foot.
Whoa,
finesse,
really? They have one called
They're
foot
not
fetish.
fronts for anything.
foot
So
spa.
wait, they have one called foot fetish, and they expect people to come in and trust their feet in the hands of someone who opened a store called Foot Fetish.
And it's not a front for anything.
Sorry. It's very funny though.
But honestly, there was one in Avon, Indiana that I used to be next door to a comic book store I used to go to before the comic book store closed. And I just remember one day coming in and be like, hey, you got the new things. It's Wednesday. And the guy that was just like, yeah. I'm like, what's up, buddy? And he's just like, yeah, I just saw a lady run out of the massage parlor screaming for help. And then the cops came. And it was just like,
Good
wow.
lord.
So the foot related massage parlor that's not a front for anything.
So
I've never
you
been
can't-
into one, but I have been by one.
So the
Anyways.
camera
Fair.
So the camera pans over to the abandoned water park. You can see, that there's like a large hill that runs along the side of this, where the largest of the three twisty, long slides go down and empties into a pool filled with some of that murky pool water from rainwater and detritus pouring into it. You see various pools on the other side as the camera kind of sweeps across, kind of giving a picture of the devastation here, that this was once a place where lots of people came and had fun, and now it's just full of debris, graffiti, and broken attractions and slides. Even though there was
a lot of minor key brass in that section of the film, I bet. You know, the wah, 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 wah. That sort of
This is
sound.
Tuesday.
Hey,
So you come onto the scene of this, and you see it looks like your concerned citizens have come with you here. I'm assuming that you have come along, Sonny, as long with Shane, and the thing that really kind of first takes your notice is that there are a lot of various weird smells coming here, a very strong scent of mildew and rot, and then it's also punctuated with a strong chemically smell.
So I'd play Sonny as like a druggy character, but as I'm an innocent, I don't think that I would know what the chemically smell is. Otherwise, I'd roll for expertise. We're not rolling. I'd use a token for expertise or whatever. But you know, I am going to use a token. So, is everybody familiar with their tarot deck enough that when I mention the card, the Fool, they know what I'm talking about? Guy with a bindle over his shoulder, just traipsing along, la-di-da, towards the edge of a cliff, with the little dog at his heels. Like I'm gonna use my token, which I decided to make a dice, so I felt like this was a more dicey game. I am going to use my token to be the Fool and just innocently stumble bass backwards into a clue of some kind. Possibly literally could be the downside of this, as I am traipsing along these chemical pools and pools full of rotten leaves and stuff. But I definitely like to use the token to, fall into a clue.
I love that. But as you kind of craning your head to kind of get that smell, and you're like, kind of getting a little bit distracted by like a butterfly that's also flapping by at the same time. You slip on an old crumpled soda can, and you just topple backwards into one of these pools that's full of just rotting leaves and then stuff bobbing it like little soda lids with the straws and all of that junk. And as you fall backward, your arm goes into some of this detritus. Like it almost feels like your hand's gone through like a broken milk crate or something. When you pull your arm out, it's a skeleton. As you clear the debris, you can see that there are several skeletons just bobbing in this pool.
Yeah, at that point, being a peaceful innocent, I raise my finger as though to speak, and then hands on knees immediately vomit up like everything I've eaten in the past 4 days. And then I hail my friends over. I'm like, guys, there's some skeletons here. I'm hoping that they're not human, but they sure look human.
All right, so I go over. So what my cohorts here is, hold on, allow me to investigate. And that's when I move the young one over with my gun, like not to point at him, but like nudge him with the barrel of the gun to move aside because
I got it, man. I got it.
Adults. And I look down. Just I don't roll for investigation, do I? I look down and I see the skeletons, and
That's a skeleton, all right.
that's a skeleton, all right. That boy sure is.
This skeleton looks like your ex-wife.
I might have said that. I might not have. It's hard to tell.
Meaning that she's
Okay.
deceased. That's why she's his ex.
I mean,
She died peacefully in her sleep 20
She
years
died
ago.
doing what she loved, living.
She died doing what she loves. Anyone but me.
You figure that these skeletons must be those of the local teenagers that have been missing for the past 2 days. Looking around here, you can see that there's lots of graffiti, even some of it looks relatively recent, as if teenagers have been hanging out here.
Clearly, it must have been the teenagers that did all this graffiti. Clearly, there's nothing to solve here. They're gone.
Are you three wanting to investigate this scene more, or are you moving on to the massage parlor?
John gets a turn, I think, if he
Yeah.
wants one.
Unfortunately, there was an emergency with my daughter. So what's happening? Sorry.
Oh, we're at the water park, and we've found the skeletons of the missing peoples in a not abandoned pool. It's full of like sludgy leaves and trash and shit. But
I mean, if it's sludgy and there's skeletons, that means the sludge might not be leaves. The sludge might just
True
be
enough.
their decomposed flesh.
they're De La Quest flesh. And our sheriff here said, "Yep, that's a human skeleton," and then looked at the wall where there's some mysterious graffiti and said, "Yep, that's graffiti," and is now done investigating. And I wondered if our expert might like a crack at the scene.
Yeah, I would like a crack at the scene. Thank you so much, Charles. I'm going to go over to the skeletons. And I by the way, Skeleman is the family name of those that went missing. It's Josh and Bethany Skeleman.
Skeletons.
Anyway,
I love it.
Yeah.
the skeletons. I'm gonna look at the skeletons. I'm looking for any like teeth marks, any kind of wounds on bones that I can discern.
As you begin to examine one of these skeletons, kind of fishing it out of the pool and kind of reassembling it for easier observation, what really strikes you is, besides seeing like there is some previous broken marks and bones where maybe someone had a skateboard accident or something like that, the skeleton itself is completely intact. There's no gnaw marks, there's no blade marks, blunt trauma whatsoever to any of these skeletons. And as you look close,
I have something that I put in when he's pointing that out. I say, maybe they all died like peacefully in their sleep, man. Just because, I'm a peaceful innocent. I want it to be nothing horrible.
but
Sonny, you're my best student, also my only student. But I look. Hey, personally, I love where your head's at. However, as your professor, I feel like I need to help you think about this critically. If they died peacefully in their beds, why would their bodies be here?
No, I said in their sleep, man. Maybe they were
Obvi-
like
Texas
out
history
sleeping.
Texas history teaches us that when people die, they either go to the Alamo or stay where they died.
Obviously, they had an air mattress and fell asleep on the pool and drowned to death after rolling over in their sleep.
Let's let Ian finish explaining the scene. Maybe there was more of a
Or-
hint there.
Teacher. Ian, go.
The other thing that you've noticed as you're going through the skeleton is that, well, one of them, there's a lot of fillings in its teeth. Gold, various metal ones, and they're also intact as well.
Oh, so we can trace the dental records?
If that seems like a cop thing to do.
That does seem like a cop thing to do. Yeah, I hop in the pool and I say to my friends, hold on, allow me to get the skull so we can trace its dental records.
Now
And-
watch this. Cannonball!
But when everyone hears
Oh,
that joke's getting really old for me as a person who has to keep
Thank
pinching his
you, thank
tongue.
you.
Thank you.
I am
Thank you.
Yeah, I didn't
Yeah.
want to say it and like hurt your feelers, but fucking knock it off.
Yeah. I think I should have stopped about 3 times ago, and I apologize to anyone dealing with my bullshit. Sorry.
We love your commitment to the gig.
Yeah,
We do.
So just remember, it's Tor
That's true.
Johnson. It's Tor Johnson. It's not actually this voice. But yeah, so he jumps in the pool, grabs the skull off the neck of the skeleton, assuming it's still attached by some level of sinew or connective tissue, and just kind of pries it open and goes and has a look. This is a B film, right? This is not a legitimate movie where we all know real world rules. You take this, you x-ray it, you compare it to the database at every local dentist office to figure out whose teeth is this. So
But
you
this
can
is
then
this is the Tor Johnson version. You just eyeball them. You just
yeah,
give,
you just
give those choppers an
you
eyeball.
poke in, you have a look, and you go, "This is John Smith." Or what, John? What did you actually? What did you say the name was?
Josh and Bethany
the
Skilleman.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do I identify this as the Skellemans?
That is a great question since you were saying that you're new to this town, so I don't know how often you were able to examine the inside of this mouth.
Yeah.
But if you want to spend one of your tokens and
I'm gonna spend a token to identify the teeth on this skull I just pulled out of a kiddie pool.
yes, you have identified it as the 2 skeletons that they have been missing for 2 days now, and they've been known to hang out at this abandoned water park, much against the wishes of their parents and the truancy officer at school.
All right. So it appears that these are in fact the Skellemans, and their flesh is decomposed at a rapid pace, which I suspect drops skull. Foul play.
Camera zooms in. And hovers there.
Yeah.
It's murder, and someone is responsible.
Side note, if anyone ever wants to hear my theory about how Horatio Kane from CSI is a vampire, hit me up. Sorry, Ian, go ahead.
So you've discovered that these are the skeletons of those 2 teens.
Mhm.
Are you wanting to use that knowledge to help you investigate this scene further? Or are you, what is
Yes.
your cop-like
Yes.
instincts?
My cop instincts is to talk to the college professor and be like, hey, it's murder and someone is responsible. Let's get to the bottom of this. Who murdered them?
Ooh, John, isn't this like a dream come true? The autodidact and like, niche research expert finally like tapped by the authorities in their moment of need.
Charles, as you and I are both autodidact and niche experts in various weird fields, fair,
Right, but
right?
we're not
true
your
statement.
character.
Okay, I was gonna say, imagine a cop coming up to either of us and asking for help and how that would go exactly.
Right.
My character, however, my character has popped the boner.
Yeah, he feels important. Yeah.
Would it help if I rephrased it? Stop resisting and
boner's
help me
there.
solve this murder.
Stop resisting. I love that.
My boner is now one of fear and intimidation instead of excitement, but it's still there. Don't you worry.
Good.
Firmly in place.
Firmly in place.
All right, man, let's ride.
Yeah, so Ian, a second ago you said something hovers in place. Were you talking about his bad joke or the skull?
Previously, we talked about exhuming the skeleton out of the pool, and that there was no flesh on it whatsoever.
Okay, so he dropped it. Okay, gotcha. Okay. I know the skeletons. Oh, no flesh, no tendons, just bones, right?
Mm-hmm.
And how long have they been missing?
2 days. Rapid
2 days.
decomp. We've already got that. Or rapid whatever.
Man, I don't even know. Like, is there evidence of viscera and goop in the water?
I
You
mean,
gonna fish around?
I couldn't taste.
I mean,
any,
with
but,
my
like,
eyes.
I mean, I'm still in the pool. Are you asking me to fish around?
Yes,
Yeah,
I'm
fish
asking you to
around,
fish
man.
around because you're in the pool.
All right. All right. I take off my jacket and I start to use it as kind of like a makeshift net to try and strain the
that's smart.
pool to like
That's-
lift it up and see if I catch anything inside my jacket.
We're all gonna wind up riding in his car after this too. I bet.
Yeah, you are. And I'm gonna put the jacket back on, and it's gonna be covered in so much
And
decomposed
turn
flesh.
the heat up. Yeah, turn the heat up.
The first thing that you pull out of this is the contents of Sunny's stomach that they had just emptied into the pool upon discovering. So there's lots of gummy worms and canned corn, too much of both. Perhaps a hint of
Those-
peanuts.
Candy's
And
not too
Those
much
kids and their candy corn.
Okay, I thought he said canned corn and gummy worms, and that
I
was
did,
even funnier for
too.
some
Yeah,
reason.
it's
I did say canned corn. So
I guess
there
my
doesn't
heart
seem-
just wanted it to not be that.
too bad.
So there doesn't seem to be any type of flesh or other remains from the skeletons in the pool. All you find is like plant matter, like tree branches that have fallen, leaves, and then bits of like trash that are floating around. So from here, you can see those 3 long twisting slides that go up. You can see kind of like the maintenance area where all of the supplies are. There's a shack that keeps all of the inner tubes, and then like a cabana area for like snacks and just a general hangout area.
All right. Snacks in general hangout. Snacks. Anyone have any better ideas? Because Tor Johnson wants to go get snacks.
Well, I think this place has been closed forever, but like if you want to go scrape the bottom out of the grease traps or whatever.
Expiration dates are a guideline, not
Fair
a
enough.
hard rule.
Let's go scavenge.
The chips just aren't going to be as crunchy.
Welcome to Wandering Monster, the Fallout gameplay where we scavenge old chips.
So as you go through the concession stand, you see that there are lots of deep red and blue stains from way too many Slurpees spilled across the concrete. You see that there is a ancient popcorn machine that is just completely encrusted with oils. And then behind that, you see that there are some like vending machines, maybe with something inside it, as well as like a general like maintenance and storage area behind where the cash register would have been if it had not been stolen a long time ago.
So they clearly weren't eating here.
So we can
I was gonna say maybe we can look around to see if there's any signs that they came here like willingly, like they came to like broke in to play as teens do.
Yeah.
Right.
Also,
Remember
as
when we
we've
found the
established-
eviscerated remains of the Scooby Gang?
Yeah, those damn teens just didn't know when to quit. And our humble narrator slash what is your role called, Ian?
storyteller.
Storyteller. Our storyteller did say that the missing kids liked to break in against their parents' wishes, correct?
Mhm.
Yep. So I bet they did come voluntarily, so the culprit may be near at hand.
Bum bum bum.
John, being a cryptid expert, like no goat suckers leave the skin too, don't they? And
Yeah,
they just take
Chupacabras do in fact leave the skin. They just suck. They're like kind of mosquito-y.
yeah, all the innards and the
They
blood.
just
and
want
stuff.
blood. That's all.
Yeah,
They're more like spiders. They liquefy the inside and slurp them up.
yeah. So this is probably not that because all we've got left is bones, not skin. There's probably some crazy legendary beast out there that fits this bill, but I don't know it because I'm just Sonny. I don't know a goddamn thing.
You know.
Yeah.
Sonny, how long have you lived in this town anyways?
Oh, about 3, 4, 5 weeks. I'm just passing through.
Sheriff, I
So-
see where you're going with this. I can promise you Sonny is not smart enough to have pulled this off.
What if my monstrous alter ego is though? Like says Charles, Sonny doesn't know what's being implied. He's just like, yeah, man, I'm not smart enough to that thing.
Neither am I.
Good.
So
good.
as you have been spending a good amount of time here, in any B film, there is some times where a scene drags out for too long, and then there is a demand for action and a kind of a smash cut, something that pulls you to another scene to add to the tension. And that's when that you get from your radio, Clifford, a report of something very strange happening at the local diner. And they request for your help immediately, and they need you there with all of like this. There's a little bit of static there, as if like the connection is kind of tailoring off. Like they need something, and it tailors off, and you hear more disappearance, and then your radio kind of gets fuzzy and cuts out completely.
So to firm up roles at this point, Professor John is basically quasi-deputized for his expertise, and I, as his best and only pupil, am here to be his able assistant, I think, as well as a lovable fool.
It's like instead of a buddy cop film, it's a buddy cop film.
It's like two buddies and one like mildly smart dog. And I'm the mildly smart dog in that equation.
Imagine the Three Stooges. Curly, Larry, Moe, occasionally Shemp.
Yeah, I'm Curly, definitely.
Yeah.
So as the camera transitions, we find the lot of you outside of this diner. It's a quintessential diner. It's like the silver cab, and you see that there is like a commotion from people around the outside, kind of running around screaming. and is even from here you can tell what's amiss. That in the inside of the diner, where people would be sitting normally eating their hamburgers and stuff, are just skeletons, perfectly clean skeletons, just in the seats.
I guess I should go investigate their dental records. No. All right. So we got a call to come here. Now there's skeletons inside the seats. Is there anyone alive inside the building?
As you approach the scene, there was a person that just stepped in to order a cheeseburger and a chocolate malted when they found that everyone inside had been turned into a skeleton.
All right. We're going to investigate the shit out of that guy. That's for sure. Hey, buddy, why don't you come here? I've got some questions for you.
Okay. The person's just scared out of their wits. And they said that they don't know what happened. That all they know is that as they opened the door, there was weird slurping, gurgling sound coming from the back of the diner, and everyone had been turned into skeletons. So it looks like there are some skeletons that are in seats, as if they were caught off guard, and there's like a pile of skeletons by the front door, as if some people had maybe tried to run.
Okay, so back at the restaurant, I guess.
Yeah, I like that.
So as you look back here, you see that all of the food in the diner is gone. All of the food in the storage room, the freezer, and the hot prep areas. And also, even more strangely, all of the chemicals in the closet, like janitorial closet, the table sanitizer, all of the jugs are empty.
Not all the corn dogs, man.
The sticks are there. All of the sticks.
Oh, man. The worst part, I always eat that last.
Oh, little child, you shouldn't eat the sticks. You
say
shouldn't
little
eat the
child,
dog either. You
but
just pick up the breading and eat that.
Yeah, I'm actually, I may sound like and act like a little child, but I'm actually 28. So just wandering through life. The chemicals and the food.
So there's noise coming from the back, though?
That's what the person had said. The only doors that are really shut are the only door that you see shut is the bathroom.
All right. So we're bringing the guy with us, right? Does that sound good with everyone else?
It doesn't sound good to him. In fact, he immediately defecates and urinates his pants upon the suggestion of going in.
Didn't ask him.
That makes two of us.
So there's no like glistening trail. There's just stuff missing.
Well, there is now because he defecated himself, and we're pushing him into the building.
Other than that glistening trail, yeah.
So there is what you notice is that a diner normally has a very greasy floor, and there are large swaths where it's perfectly clean. And as you look towards the bathroom, there's a lot of water that has seeped underneath the door. If you open it, you see that there is just about a quarter-inch of standing water pooled around the toilet and the sink, and you still hear a little bit of gurgling in the pipes.
Oh, that motherfucker went out through the John. How the hell are we gonna? Too bad none of us got the archetypal character, the plumber.
Mm-hmm.
The Mario, the brother.
Yeah. Just jump on that toilet.
Is there an air shaft nearby? I have an idea.
Shaft.
Shut your mouth.
Shaft.
I can dig it.
Ooh, I know how to make my dumbass character ask a useful question in an in-character way. I'm hungry, man. Like, where's the place in town with the best and most food? That's to anyone who actually is from the town.
So not me. Thanks. Appreciate that.
Sonny, I appreciate that you're feeling hungry, but we kind of got a situation here, my dude, my little friend.
Don't go on board. Will not like that.
We gotta.
Do you know one of the best places to eat in town is the local mall food court?
You go to hell. That's from John, by the way, not from my character. Dude, mall food court.
That teriyaki chicken place that they have.
I was trying to shoehorn in the idea that we pursue the monster by looking at what it's going for. We can't follow it in the fucking pipes. So, in character as Sonny, I was asking, where is there a lot of food? It's hit the diner. It ate the kids. Then hit the diner. It's obviously like beginning to get hungrier as it probably gets more powerful. So it did eat a bunch of chemicals. So mall and the pipes definitely go to the mall. So I'm thinking mall food court is probably like a good place to try and catch up with it. All right, Charles out, send me back on.
I like that logic. What else do we have to go on, really? I mean, are we going to go spelunking in the sewers? That's our other option.
I'm down for a sewer crawl anytime. I grew up in the 90s, so if there's a sewer level, I'm into it. But I think food court is where it's headed.
What were you going to say, Shane?
I am not down for the sewer crawl, so the mall it is.
Okay. So the scene transitions from the panic at the diner to your exclamation of I have a hunch, and it takes you to the mall. There's that kind of frantic race scene where you race your cars trying to get there as quickly as you can. And as you approach the mall, the music swells and gets more tense. And there's this kind of that underlining synth of heartbeat pulse that's kind of punctuating the musical score. When you arrive at the mall, there is a cacophony of screams and wails coming from the food court, and you see people running. In the background, you can see where the fountain is in the middle of the court. There are these long pink bubbly looking pseudopods that are flailing out from the water fixture and just snatching people, and you can just see people's skin is just instantly dissolving in the grip of this thing. More and more that is beginning to scorch out of the fountain.
Okay, just a momentary aside, Ian, how much of this exact scenario did you come up with?
I mean, my vague recollections of watching the 80s version of The Blob back in the early 90s.
Okay, because I was going to say, putting the blob in the fountain at something is, the most brilliant and terrifying thing I think I've ever heard. Because the 80s Blob, I just rewatched it the other day, and, it's
was it even in there? Because I can't remember. Because I just remember, the phone booth scene and...
Yeah. No, it wasn't. But my point is, your idea of putting it into the fountain, that's fucking phenomenal, dude.
Thank you.
That's great.
I do try.
That's exactly what it would have done, is had pseudopods. Then we'd all have been fucked.
Well, speaking of being fucked, there's a lot of people that are actively, that whole thing.
People are fucking in the mall? Is this shopping mall?
That is actually how I heard it too. But I was thinking of Firefly.
If you count a vor fetish as sex, then yes, some people are definitely getting it on.
Okay, so Lawnmower Man.
What do the three of you do in this scene? You're seeing this monster beginning to pull itself out of the fountain and devouring people.
That is not a Bigfoot. I don't believe it's a Yeti either.
Can we kill it with fire? Question mark.
I don't remember what they killed it with in the movie, but I bet
It-
it was
in
fire
the-
related.
In the original Blob, cold was the mechanism that they used to defeat it, and they
Oh, I bet
flew it
that's what it
via
was in
helicopter
the-
to
yeah.
Antarctica. And the
Hmm.
sequel, I don't remember. That was awful. And in the 80s version, I watched it once.
Yeah, I don't remember how they beat it in the 80s version, but I bet it was like the original because cold would make it less
Mm-hmm.
viscous. How are we gonna chill things out? Like,
Is there a Cold Stone Creamery?
man. Hey, oh, that's it. So, I am the peaceful innocent. I'm gonna try and talk sense to it. So, I approach with my hands out, like, "Hey, man, hey, nobody wants anybody to get hurt here, man. Hey, let those people go, man."
There is a brief second where the creature seems to halt, but then you're just seeing it's just pulling more of its mass out of the fountain. So there's no even more water flowing at this point. It's just pink goo as it's coalescing itself. It stretches out this nice little tidal wave of pink goo and just crashes upon you. And you feel that same feeling it is when you stuff a whole bunch of gummy worms in your mouth and let them melt over time, except that's your flesh.
Yeah. It's
Oh.
awful. I saw the movie. I'm fucked. Like, even if you guys pull me out of there, I'm not going to be anything but bones at this point. So that's awesome.
But you get 2
I
tokens, and
I have an idea. Run.
That does sound like a good idea, but
Sonny, my tenure, no.
can I grab a fire extinguisher real quick? Because I feel like there should be one.
Yes, the safety code would require that. Just to finish the scene, so as your characters die, you do get 2 tokens for your kind of like ghostly presence. That allows
So-
you to help
Yeah.
support your
I was gonna
characters by
say, I'm gonna give 1 token to each of my homies, and I'm just gonna be a disembodied, ghostly Sonny, optimistically cheering you guys on from the sidelines.
So as a ghost, you can use those tokens to help put objects in help facilitate events for your friends by like making a
Okay.
convenient thing happen. Or if you're saying like a fire extinguisher, you could definitely even spend one of your tokens to make that materialize where it's most convenient for him. That's one of the ways you can keep interacting and keeping the movie going.
Oh, that's great. All right, let's do that.
I would like to grab a fire extinguisher and see if I can like cool off the glob.
I will materialize that with one of my tokens.
All right,
Actually, Charles, may I make
Yeah.
a suggestion?
Yeah.
This is a mall with a with a food court. There might be canisters of what is it? Nitrous.
Maybe, but there also would
nitrogen
definitely
oxide. Dry
there
ice.
definitely would be.
Ooh,
For
is
making
there a
ice
Dippin'
cream.
Dots?
that is the ice
I'm
cream
a-
in the future.
I hereby
Okay.
materialize the Dippin' Dots instead. That's a better use of my token.
Yes.
Not just
I eat Dippin' Dots.
like like the world's largest Dippin' Dots. Like they don't just have like the little cups. You can get the bucket of minus 38 degrees Celsius.
The original Dippin' Dots is located. It just happens to be located in this mall. It was the prototype for all the other Dippin'
the
Dots.
flagship. The
Yeah,
flagship.
the
Oh,
flagship
God.
location of
That is
Dippin'
definitely
Dots.
one of those convenient corporate sponsor kind of placements that helps kind of like Head and Shoulders shampoo in Evolution.
Yeah.
There is a massive and of course the first and largest Dippin' Dots kiosk in the mall.
Hey, Dippin' Dots, if you're listening and you want to do like a sponsorship and partnership
Throw me a
thing,
little
let me know because
money.
I'm fucking down for. You don't have to pay. Just send me Dippin' Dots.
Yeah.
Chocolate banana, all I want.
Oh, those are good.
So now that you know that that's there, what do the two of you survivors do to use that to your advantage?
Oh, hey, blob
I'm gonna go
monster.
back-
It'd be a shame if you tried to attack me. Oh, no. Slowly make my way towards the Dippin' Dots.
I don't slowly do shit. I run over to the Dippin' Dots and I grab it like, oh, this is delicious. So nutritious and filling and eat a little cup.
And dot-like. Perfect to dip into.
Like, I'm so mad I
oh.
can't have Dippin' Dots right now.
So the monster has basically finished devouring everyone else in the food court at this point, and you both of you are in the Dipping Dots.
Taunting
Phil
the
was gonna-
monster to get it to follow us.
Yeah,
Okay,
Patchy
that's the
said
important
he's
part.
gonna run for the Dippin' Dots kind of in slow motion to try and get that thing to follow him.
While shaking my little hiney at it, be like, oh no, it would be a shame if something
Look how tasty.
came and tried to get my butt.
Right. And that's what I was saying. This is building up to the climax. The monsters beginning to scorch in your direction. What do you do to help to overcome this in typical over-the-top 80s B film style?
Well, I imagine there's a Dippin' Dots gun back there that's a prototype that'll turn any liquid into a Dippin' Dot, right?
That would be the '80s thing they would have is like a Dippin' Dots gun or something that's like a cold gun of some kind that they were going to use to, it being the flagship location.
What if it's the inline liquid nitrogen aerator for where you squirt in the liquid ice cream that makes into pellets? So you basically have a giant pellet gun.
Mm-hmm.
Love it.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
All right,
All right.
I can even manifest that with one of my tokens, there you go.
There we go. So you've eaten your little cup of Dippin' Dots, and Clifford has lured the blob over with his hiney. How does this final scene unfold?
Okay. I'm gonna be honest with you. How big is this monster?
It's pretty large at this point, as it's kind of gone from location to location. So it is about the size of maybe 2.5 elephants, but minimum.
Okay. So while I was on Flail to the Face, which is Kevin's other podcast that he cheats on us with, I guess we're the side chick of podcast for him since he was on Flail first.
for sure. Yeah.
They have something called spite omens, where they can use their omens not for good, but to stop other people's omens. So
Omens can do that.
I'm using a spite token.
Okay.
Because I think it'd be way more fun. As Sheriff Clifford raises the gun, points it at the blob, probably assumes like the 80s action hero stance with it.
Yeah, of
And,
course.
like it's going real
naturally.
fucking cocky. He pulls that trigger, and this thing has been converted into a helium balloon filler.
The yes-anding is strong in this game tonight.
It's kind of more like a no but.
God's sake.
That's still improv. Okay. All right. So helium comes out, or do little balloons come out? Like this, more
I was
information.
I was picturing helium itself. Like you could fill balloons with it.
All right, I'm gonna get you, you blob bitch. And now I'm gonna. Oh no, something's not right. I can't shoot the guy with my Dippin' Dot gun. Oh no! And
Hold on. Mr. Patchkey,
Yeah.
I need you to do that again, but go back to his actual voice.
Oh. Oh no! I'll do So I retreat into the giant walk-in Dippin' Dot freezer while
Hello,
blasting
new
more
ringtone.
helium at it to kind of like keep taunting it in a way. And so it's basically I get in and like you see like my breath coming out, and you also see little bursts of helium that like don't just come out and linger, but like go up really quickly because it's lighter than air. But it's still for some reason has moisture in it, but it shouldn't. But we're gonna say it does.
Okay.
Very good.
And I continue to shake my hinder at it.
So, in a quirk of fate, as the blob like lashes out a pseudopod out at you, the combination of the cold air from the freezer and then the sheer amount of helium that you're pumping into it begins to cause it to swell. You see that the blob is beginning to puff up, almost like a giant amorphous balloon. And slowly, as you are just kind of, again, shrieking your high-pitched taunts at it, it is inflating and hovering at the top of the mall where there's like a big sunglass like dome. It breaks through it, and there's a stiff breeze, and you see the blob blow far out past the horizon. So it can be someone else's problem in a town far away with a different sheriff and different set of very vulnerable people.
Son.
No. It hit straight for Springfield.
Yeah.
It is in the same state. And so with that, there is a high five between the two survivors, and the kind of recap for 80s where it like shows the people at the end of the film. There's like a perfectly clean skeleton that has way too many cavities that's by the fountain with his arms out. And the credits roll. So that's creature feature. Lightweight TTRPG that is narrative heavy. John, why don't you take us to the rest of our announcements, since you've already shared the great gospel about into the journey into the dying lands.
There is little.
John, if you wouldn't mind, I know you don't usually read my nonsense.
No, I'm definitely reading yours.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't usually read yours because it's a bunch of bullshit, but you did a serious one this time. Okay, so first off, friends, if you are watching this, we are once again doing the annual Wanmon Wandy Awards, where you can win a silver or golden tentacle based arbitrarily on how much we enjoyed games.
And one plaid one.
There will be an award for best mechanics, best world, essentially lore storytelling, the most fun we played in a game. There will be staff choices, and then at the end, the golden tentacle is for the game that is voted best game of 2023. So that's going to be our very last show of December, our very last show of 2023. Please come and watch it. It's a lot of fun. All six of us should be here. All six of us are full of shit. It'll be amazing, I promise. Ian, how Sigil, a game by Gabriel Quiroga, who we have played many of his games, including our first game by him, Hell Knight, is put together Sigil. 6 days left on that Kickstarter. Ian, you edited it, and Sigil is a collectible card game set in the world of Hell Knight. So think Magic the Gathering, but everything is 80s biker horror. Think Magic the Gathering, but it's Mandy with Nick Cage.
Ooh, fun.
I know.
Is there a card for chainsaw sword fight?
I bet there actually fucking is.
That's awesome.
Buy it and find out.
Also this month, for the entirety of this month, normally Charles handles all of our social media for Wandering Monster and Madness Heart Press and Madness Heart Games, and probably a bunch of other shit I'm forgetting because I literally hired him to be half my brain. He's taking the month off. You're not going to do fucking shit. Not going to. He's not going to do a goddamn thing for me this month because he is going to be too busy doing the anti-Lord's work.
Yep.
Specifically, he is off to steal the little baby Jesuses out of both indoor and outdoor nativity scenes. What's that? You like the nativity scene in your local Mexican restaurant? Oh no,
Too
the
bad.
baby Jesus has been replaced by a taquito. Fuck you.
Yep.
Outside the church, what's that? That's not baby Jesus. It's a crocodile. Anyway, it's going to be good times, Charles. It is a pretty good prank that I enjoy a lot.
Thank you.
So
Yeah.
if you are in the Salt Lake City area, keep your eyes peeled for missing Gzi.
And in actuality, I'm not taking the month off. I'll be doing double duty. I'll be working for MHP and stealing every baby Jesus that I can lay my hands on.
It might surprise you, but there aren't going to be many nativities on the Madness Heart Press socials for some reason. Maybe it's because a Jew and a Satanist run the show. Hey, this is pretty cool. Look at what I got in the mail. I got the Splatter League hardcover collector's edition books. I am in the midst of numbering and signing all of them for backers, but shortly after I send these out to backers, baby, I'm gonna set this shit up in paperback on Drive-Thru-RPG, and you will be able to get it there or on madnessheart.press. Next month, my next book comes out. It is Unclean Verses. It is a Godless Gold Award-winning novella set in verse. It is an extreme horror take on Dante's Inferno. Trigger warning, all of them. This is a book that is the first book I sent to an extreme horror publisher where they told me it was too much and they needed me to tone some shit down. So if you can be offended, maybe sit this one out. If that sounded like a challenge to you, it is. Finally, Madness Heart Press, the company that we do here. Madness Heart Press, I already told you about Journey to the Dying Lands. Please back it. It's going to be great. But that's not all we're doing. We have Low Blasphemy coming from fellow Salt Lakean Judith Sonnet. It is a brutal occult horror story. We are releasing that on December 24th. I figured nothing else is happening that day. Might as well put out some sick-ass blasphemous literature, right?
Hell yeah.
And in January, as a birthday present to me, we are putting out Nate Southard's Porcelain. Porcelain is one of the best books I've ever read. I read it for a panel that I was moderating and Nate was on, and I was trying to read one book from each author on the panel so I could kind of talk to them. And I loved Porcelain, blew me out of the water. I saw him at an event in like earlier this year, and I was like, "Hey, can I get a physical copy of this sign?" And he's like, "No, it's out of print, and there are no copies." And I said, "Fuck you, it's out of print. Here's a contract. I'm publishing it." So that's coming, and I'm so excited. I say all this to say we have a lot of cool shit on the horizon, my friends. Keep your ears peeled. MadnessHeart.press. Follow our socials. That's MHP_horror on Twitter. I believe it's that on Blue Sky. And is there another one? Nah.
We have Insta. Yep.
Yeah. Those are those. Also follow One Moncast. If you follow those two channels, you will pretty much get everything that's going on. We also have a Madness Heart Games Twitter and an I Gotta Try It Twitter. But the Madness Heart Press, MHP_horror, and the One Moncast, those are the two Twitter channels that like everything goes through. And the One Moncast one also pushes out a ton of content about games and gaming and nerd shit. So, look, we all know social media is a festering wound, but maybe One Moncast and MHP Horror can be the hydrochloric acid. That's the wrong acid. It can be the maggots. We can be the maggots chewing the dead flesh away from your wound to keep out
That's
infection.
Right. Yeah. Let us be your maggots.
Friends, thank you so much for joining us on this. Oh, before I go, don't join me just yet. I want to thank Bog Wizard. Thank you, Bog Wizard, for our intro and outro music, Barbaria, off the album Purple Miasmic Smoke. They kick ass. And another thing, Bog Wizard is doing a song for Journey Through the Dying Lands, and Bog Wizard, specifically Harlan Link of Bog Wizard, supplied one of the stories for that anthology. That's all very kick-ass. Now, thank you so much for joining us on this consensual journey we call Wandering Monster. I have been John, the biggest dog, Baltusberger.
I have been Charles, the second biggest dog, R. Bernard.
I have been Ian, just a regular dog.
And I've been Mr. Paschke, not actually a dog, but you know, when you take the hot dog from Costco and you take the chicken bake and you put the hot dog inside the chicken bake, and then you eat that.
It's like a turducken kind of.
Friends,
Yeah.
we will be back next week. Maybe our shit will be together then, but I doubt it. If you cannot wait that long, do not worry. Bridget knows the shortcut.